Hey everybody, it's Roger, or RL as many of you know me as. I wanted to take some time to tell you guys about my journey over these last few years with my business, AlphaMaleVisuals, that I started, and talk about this leap of faith that I'm getting ready to take. So this video might be kind of long, so if you want to skip the story, kind of get to the main point of why I'm making this video here today. So we've had some successes along the way, but the crazy thing about all of that is that all of this for the past few years has just been practice. Upon my research stage where I was learning about filmmaking and assessing the market here in Kansas City, I realized those opportunities to consistently work with top artists and provide for myself solely off of just shooting videos, wasn't here in Kansas City. I wouldn't be able to do that here. Therefore, as part of my business plan when I wrote this out way back when was that I set a goal for 5 years. During that time, I was going to be shooting as much as possible, build a brand and reputation for myself, get all of the equipment that I needed, and by the end of my 5th year, I was going to quit my day job, move to a bigger city where there's more opportunities in the film world, and work as a full-time video director. That big city is Atlanta, Georgia, and the time for the move is February of 2016, which is right around the corner. So I fulfilled all of the middle steps in my plan. I've built a brand. I've got the majority of the equipment I need. I've invested over $25,000 of my own money over the past few years. And all of that work and sacrifice has led up to this point now in preparation for this leap. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared. I'm excited, but I'm scared because I've never not had that steady job to fall back on, right? That security blanket with, and if something didn't go wrong, then I still got Cerner. But now it's, I'm taking that security blanket off and I'm diving head first. It's a little intimidating, but I'm up for the challenge, and failure is not an option. We're gonna make this happen. I've talked with a lot of more experienced directors and videographers who have kind of already taken that path and trying to get some advice from them. They tell me that first year is always gonna be the toughest because, especially me moving to a new city where I'm starting over. Nobody knows me in Atlanta, so I'm gonna have to build a new brand there, build new networks, new clientele, everything. So that income isn't gonna come as fast those first few months or year. So I'm gonna have to flip back into grind mode and just get my name out there. They also told me, have some money saved up, which I've done. And then also on top of that is to seek assistance from family members and close friends and loved ones. So that's the main reason why I'm making this video here today. I'm at a pivotal point in my life right now where I've been playing it safe for a few years with this day job working at Cerner, but now it's time to rip off the band-aid. And my request is that I'm trying to raise as much money as possible to help out with this transition. Now my goal is high. I want to try and raise $7,000. Yeah, I know, but hear me out. There's a few things that money is gonna go towards. First will be with the actual physical move from Kansas City to Atlanta. From the research that I've done, it's about a 12-hour drive. I'm gonna need the biggest U-Haul that they have available just because from all the things that I have in addition to my equipment, which takes up a whole room, and then factor in, the price of the truck and the gas that it takes to get there, it's gonna be somewhere in the ballpark of $2,000 just to move everything down there. Also, as I spoke about earlier, to compete with the big dogs, you gotta have the big dog equipment before people can even consider you to take that job. And so I'm gonna be investing in pretty much a movie camera. The name of that camera is the Red Raven. Red brand is pretty much one of the standards in the film community right now. This is the camera that movies like X-Men, Avengers, and all the blockbusters are shot on these red cameras. And so the one that I'm looking at in particular, the package to get started shooting is about $11,000. So I'm going to be putting $8,000 of my own money towards that, and I was hoping to raise the other $3,000 through this funding campaign. And the remaining $2,000 that I wanted to raise would pretty much just be helping me get set in Atlanta, helping to pay with that first month of rent since money's going to be slow starting out when I get there. All of the costs and expenses that come with moving, getting registered there and the insurances and taxes and all that stuff, really helping me just get grounded there. Every penny counts. And not even just financial assistance. Like I said, when I get there, I'm going to be starting over as far as network and clientele wise. So if you know anybody in the Atlanta area that might be related to the entertainment industry or any type of production, whether it be visual or audio, please let me know. I'm compiling a list of people to reach out to when I get there, say, hi, my name is, I do such and such, just to try and build those networks up. If you would like to donate and help me out, there's a number of ways you can do so. The preferred way is if you have a PayPal account. I prefer to use PayPal, that way I'm not charged a fee for any of the money that's transferred. If you don't have a PayPal account, I also have a link for GoFundMe, which is a campaign where you can go to and enter, pay either credit card or debit card. If you're not comfortable with that, then I can also accept checks. So please reach out to me. There should be a few contacts in the description of the video below. Reach out to me, I'll give you my address, and you can send me a check that I can accept as well. Thank you very much for your time and listening to me ramble on about all this. I know it's a long video, but this is just so important to me. I put in a lot of work and time and money over the last few years, and I really just want this to become successful, and not even just successful here with this move, but I mean, I just have big aspirations for AlphaMaleVisuals, not even just shooting music videos, but to branch out and expand and hire other employees or other directors under me and kind of become like a multifaceted business, to where, you know, I might be doing the video side and maybe we have another department that's doing graphic design or recording music, or just, I'm trying to take over the world, people. I'm just trying to take over the world. But it's got to start somewhere, and a lot of times small businesses fail because they don't have that startup capital, or they don't account for, you know, all the expenses that come along with trying to run a small business and being successful. So that's where you guys come in, assisting me with some of that, and every bit of my success would be yours as well. 5 years ago, graduated from Truman State University and got a job at a healthcare company called Cerner. Great company, great benefits, all that, but I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I used it to fund chasing that dream of what I wanted to do. I've always had a passion for music and hip-hop culture in general. For those who didn't know, I was experimenting with my creativity back when I was in school. I was singing and rapping and stuff like that, but you know, all that had to stop once I got my corporate job, just because, I mean, you can't work in corporate America and be a rapper at the same time. It's not gonna work. When I was in school, my best friend at the time, Dwayne, he noticed my talent for this visual storytelling. We would always make these little funny videos to promote for our Alpha events, like our community service and parties and stuff like that. And those videos became very popular, and people thought they were really funny. So we got a lot of support coming from all over the state to come to like middle of nowhere, just based off of these videos. And Dwayne kind of put the idea in my head, man, we should start a production company and shoot movies. And I was just kind of like, eh. But then after I graduated, I was just sitting watching TV, and I saw a music video, and the light bulb just kind of popped off in my head, and I was like, that's like the perfect marriage between, you know, the visual sides of things and the music and the culture. And so I followed Dwayne's advice and went ahead and started my own company, AlphaMaleVisuals, in October of 2011. The name behind it, you know, my parents always taught me, you know, give 110%. If you're gonna do something, try to be the best at whatever it is you're doing. Even if you're gonna be a janitor. If you're gonna be a janitor, be the best janitor in the state of Texas type thing. And whether or not you become that best janitor is another story, but it's that mindset of striving to be the best, striving to be number one, that alpha male. So you kind of see where I'm going with that. So, and also being a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, so the name kind of has a double meaning to it. And it was such a daunting task starting out because, you know, I didn't have any film experience. I didn't go to film school, you know, other than those little silly videos that we did, but I didn't have any equipment, but I was going to be going up against guys who had those degrees and went to film school and had all the fancy cameras and all that stuff. So it was a little bit intimidating at first, but I was very focused and very driven to make this happen. So I kind of put myself through my own little fake film school, which was pretty much me locking myself in my room for about 6 months, getting on the internet and studying as much as possible, reading all these books, watching all these videos, taking notes, giving myself these little tests just to make sure that I had a solid foundation-based understanding of the film world. Also, during this time, I made a lot of financial sacrifices as well. I always made sure I was living with at least 1 or 2 roommates to cut down on rent expenses. I wasn't going out on the weekends and partying all the time. I wasn't buying things I didn't absolutely need. No new clothes, no new J's, none of that. I moved into an older house, which, you know, living conditions weren't ideal, but it was a lot closer to my job, so I'm saving on gas that way. Just overall, just a lifestyle change and trying to keep expenses as low as possible so I can save up as much money as possible, as well as build my equipment. My main thing was that I wanted to own all of my equipment. A lot of times in the film industry, a lot of guys rent from rental houses, and that's an extra expense. Over time, that's just gonna add up. So for me, I wanted to own everything, and all of my shoots going forward would be all profit. Also, as I shot more and the videos got bigger and bigger, it got harder to do everything myself. On a big film set, you'll have 4 to 20 people, and each person has their own specialized job. You have a guy who does the lights, you have a guy who works the camera, you have a guy who directs, You have a guy who goes out and finds the locations, and for a few years I was doing all of that myself, but over time it just got harder to do that with trying to make these bigger videos. So I hired my first employee, Chris Hansen. You guys have probably seen him in a lot of pictures with me if you guys are on social media or follow me there. And since he's been part of the team, man, it really frees me up to do my creative side, and he really helps me out with some of the logistics, and the videos have gotten better ever since. And on top of that too, we've also got a loose pool of other filmmakers in Kansas City who come and help us out on the shoots, and they're getting experience as well and learning from the things that we're doing, and it also kind of gives me some extra muscle. So it's good to have friends and have those circle, that support group. Over the years, we've hit a few milestones that I'm proud of, continually trying to move up and progress forward. We recently shot a first video with a mainstream, big time artist, famous rapper named Lil Boosie. Brought him down to Kansas City for a shoot. We shot some commercials for a local restaurant that's gonna air on local television here in 2016, Chicken Mac and Cheese. You can check that out on the website as well. We entered a citywide competition with 33 other teams where they give you a theme, and then you have 48 hours to go make a short film. And teamed up with a friend of mine, Rico, and our team won first place and was screened at nationals in LA, which was pretty cool. First place out of 33 teams. In 2014, we won the Best Videographer Award in KC by the KC Music Awards, as well as we were featured in the December edition of 12 magazine, December 2014 of 12 magazine. We were highlighted for some of the work that we had been doing around Kansas City, which is good exposure for us. We also successfully completed our first accredited internship program. We had a young man, Darius, who's also Alpha. He was pursuing a film and production degree from University of Central Missouri, and it was at the end of his school year, and he couldn't get his diploma because I guess there was some miscommunication where they told him he needed to have 60 hours of internship before he could get his diploma. Took him under my wing, kind of showed him the ropes and put him to work, and wrote a letter of completion to the university. They recognized AlphaMaleVisuals as an official entity and accepted those credit hours, and he was able to get his diploma. So that was a small but big victory for us to be recognized by an establishment like that. Like I said, any penny, dime, nickel counts. I provided a number of ways in the description of the video of how you can reach me, phone number, email, social media. My phone number will change once I leave my day job, so hit me on my email or one of those other contacts. I don't really got anything else to say, man. Please donate. Please. I really appreciate it. Peace.